So on this free trade deal that's been announced overnight between Australia and the UK, for the Australian consumer, when will they start to see cheaper whiskey, cheaper biscuits and English cars?
Oh, probably from as soon as we get those arrangements in place, and we'd like it to be ASAP. It could be out until July 1 next year, but fact remains, Peter, what we're doing is we're ramping up all of those things, but particularly for our farmers, 35,000 tonnes of duty-free, absolutely duty-free beef, sheep meat, 25,000 tonnes, sugar, 80,000 tonnes of free access to the 68 million customers in the UK, and for dairy it's 24,000. So they're big numbers. They're a big increase on what we've had in the past, and more trade equals more jobs. And so for Australian producers, indeed for Australian consumers, this is an historic, this is a fantastic outcome.
But farmers have got to wait 15 years to see that full benefit. Have we had to give up ground there?
Not necessarily. It's only 8 years for beef and sheep meat. It's 10 years
That's still a way off.
For sugar. Well, it's still, but it's in increments. So immediate access, as I said, to 35,000 tonnes for our beef producers, 25,000 tonnes immediate access for our sheep meat producers. And we know that Australian sirloins and Australian lamb chops are the best in the world. We've got the very best produce in all of the world. And so there's immediate access, duty-free access, no tariffs for those tonnages that I mentioned before, and they are big tonnages. These are big numbers, and this is a good deal.
Well, farmers in the UK are still making some noise about the quality of our meat. Is it that bad?
What, the fact that they're making a noise, or?
I don't
think our meat's bad. I don't think our meat's bad.
Well, they say
our meat
the
is the
quality
best
of our
in the world.
meat is not at the level that the standard that they are setting.
Absolute tosh. Our meat is the best in the world. I mean, look at our farms. They're green, they're clean. I mean, our feedlots are the best in the world, and you only have to look at the way our farmers produce, the environmental concerns that they all meet, the fact that we have animal welfare standards second to none anywhere in the world. Our farmers love their animals. Our farmers love producing the best in the world, and they'll continue to do that.
I guess we use growth hormones and pesticides, though. Do we need to raise our standards?
We have the best beef, the best sheep meat in all of the world. This is great news for casino beef producers, for Rocky cane growers, for Junee lamb producers. This is good news for Gippsland dairy farmers. Wherever you go, I've just named four, but we grow the best dairy, the best produce in all of the world, and we'll keep doing that.
Well, I know it's the best,
and we'll keep diversifying our markets.
But do we need to raise those standards?
Well, I'm not going to listen to a Glasgow farmer and set our standards by what he might suggest. I'm going to set our standards by what somebody in Gundagai suggests, because I know that, I say again, our farmers are the best in the world. They're the best environmentalists. They're the best carers of country. They're the best producers.
Hey, is our meat the best in the world, Michael?
Absolutely, absolutely, no question. I had a steak last night at the red meat event that Susan McDonald hosted, and I'm really pleased that she's opening up an inquiry into the definition of what actually is meat. So we're getting on with making sure that our food labelling laws are also the best in the world. This is what we're doing as a nation, and I'll rate an Australian farmer as number one against any other farmer anywhere in the world, always, every day of every week.
Speaking of that inquiry, has that just been done to annoy the Greens?
We don't do things just to annoy the Greens, although I think the Greens annoy the hell out of everybody. I mean, I've yet to ever see them condemn the Extinction Rebellion protesters. I've yet to ever see them exalt what our farmers do. They want to take all the water away from our irrigation producers. They want to upturn regional communities in a way that has never been there before. They want to destroy the social fabric of society. That's why I sit with the Nationals. That's why I'm in the coalition, Peter.
Okay.
We'll always back our farmers.
Back to the trade deal. Now, your colleague David Littleproud, he had some concerns about this trade deal, about workers. There might be a shortage of up to 10,000 workers in our farms because of this trade deal. What has been done to assuage those concerns? Because now it appears that people who come from the UK won't have that caveat that they've got to spend the 90-odd days or the 88 days picking fruit out in farms and what have you.
That's correct. That's correct. But what we're also doing, and David Littleproud is working very hard and has been for several months past, on working through an agricultural visa, a specific agricultural visa for our Pacific Rim. I know he's done some diligent and good work in that regard, and we're 90,000 backpackers short of where we would be at normal times because of COVID, and so this is difficult. Our regional areas have 67,500 jobs at the moment, and they're not just on farms, they're not just in orchards or boning rooms in meatworks, they're in accountancy firms, they're in law practices, they're in health, they're in education. The Regional Australia Institute has identified that. I want people to come to the regions, big enough in which to get a good cup of coffee, small enough to still care. The regions are the best place in which to have the best lifestyle, the most affordable lifestyle and friendly communities. And they're waiting for those viewers of yours who want to make that tree change, want to make that coastal change. But how are you going to
plug that gap? I mean, 10,000 workers, that's a huge shortage. And now you're looking at Southeast Asian nations?
Yeah, well, look, there's no question it's a huge gap. And of course, COVID restrictions and travel limitations have exacerbated this issue, but we're working through it. As I said, David Littleproud, the Agriculture Minister, is working very hard on making sure that we've got the right outcomes as far as an ag visa is concerned, making sure that we get the right arrangements through this UK deal. It's an historic deal. We're diversifying our trade. I mean, I'm pleased that barley is now going into Mexico for the first time, sheep meat into Saudi. We're diversifying our trade. We're getting on with the job as Australians would expect.
Okay, just onto this, the Tamil family who is still trying to get home to Billawheeler. We just had Queensland's opposition leader on the show. He's calling David Crisafulli is calling for more compassion. Does the federal government need more compassion with this family?
We've so much compassion, and I know the Yazidi families who came to Wagga Wagga simply because we had that refugee status available because we stopped the boats. We stopped the boats, and if ever there was a compassionate side of politics, that's the side that I think Australians would like to see us have. We didn't see 1,200 people die at sea on our watch. Now, the Tamil family, well, they'll go through the legal process. They have full access to health and education and all the options available to them. They're being looked after in every which way. And of course, they'll go through that legal process. But if ever there was a compassionate government that stopped the boats, that was what we needed to do. That was showing full heart because we didn't make people go on that risky voyage to Australia. And we didn't lock up 55,000 Australians who came here, foreigners who came here on more than 800 boats. That wasn't showing compassion. We have shown the compassion.
This family's unlikely to go back to Billawheeler though, aren't they?
Well, that'll be a matter for the courts to decide.
Okay.
That process is happening.
Okay. Michael McCormack, appreciate your time. Talk to you soon.
Pleasure.